This is a story about Esther and Esther, a grandmother and granddaughter whose love for each other is true to their namesake. When COVID-19 hit in 2020, it spread through nursing facilities like a wildfire and threatened the lives of all Maryland nursing facility residents. This viral disaster triggered a perilous journey for many, including Esther, and launched a desperate fight in her granddaughter. This was uncharted territory for everyone, but as the doors began to lock, communications began to fail, Esther began asking her granddaughter, "Where were you? What is happening?" Esther was shut out of her grandmother's life and quickly realized that she needed to bring Gramps home to safety. Meet Esther, beautiful, vibrant, 87-year-old Esther, fondly referred to as Gramps. She is the matriarch of her family. She is a native of East Baltimore, a mother of 10, a grandmother of 28, and great-grandmother to 41. Like many grandmothers, her meals were unforgettable. She is full of spunk, celebrated by her family, and loves life. She has enjoyed life and endured decades. Meet Esther's granddaughter. She is on the family tree branch of firsts. Her mom was the firstborn, she is the first grandchild, and her son is the first great-grandchild. Very appropriately, some may say she is named Esther after her grandmother. Esther is the only one that gets away with calling Esther Gramps. So how did we get here? In 2019, Esther experienced a terrible fall that left her with a broken hip, which forced a move to the nursing facility for rehabilitation, where she eventually stayed as a long-term resident. Though difficult at times, granddaughter Esther was close and could easily swing by to see her Gramps. Up to the onset of COVID-19, Esther enjoyed and utilized the supportive services that the facility had to offer while taking advantage of the ample activities. With granddaughter Esther's regular visits and Esther participating in an active life, they were both getting by. Grandma Esther had enjoyed her favorite activities including Elvis nights, cooking demos, arts and crafts, and being a social butterfly. She had many friends. Her granddaughter Esther's presence and support always ensured that she was well cared for at the nursing home. Esther was dressed daily in stylish clothes, adorned with sparkling jewelry and hats, as she was always known for her style. Now they both faced a darker journey. With granddaughter Esther locked out and the facility locked down, all activities and socialization stopped. Residents were remanded to their rooms almost permanently, while COVID-19 ripped through the halls, making its way room to room. The efforts of the nursing facility, nurses, and caregivers became unthinkably challenged, and the life Esther and Esther had built disappeared. Esther began to lose contact with her friends and began to fear for her life. The room that she had considered hers became a deadly prison she was forbidden to leave. She could no longer receive those visits so dear to her from her granddaughter. Esther began to see her favorite nurses and workers become ill, which triggered a sea of new faces. Then her friends, one by one, began to be moved to the COVID isolation floor. Something had to be done, but how? Granddaughter Esther started making calls to educate herself and find a solution to what she and her Gramps were facing. She knew that it would be difficult, but that she could bring Gramps home. After a month of seeking information, in June, Esther was referred to the Image Center's Out and About program. She worked with Program Director Crystal Brockington and Options Counselor Tiffany Martin. Esther stated that she'd been seeking information about bringing her grandmother home, specifically to her home with her family, as COVID-19 spread throughout the facility. She stated that she could bring her home and was already in the process of transforming her home office into a beautiful bedroom. But she would eventually need help providing care. There was a way for her to do so with supports through the Medicaid Long-Term Care Community Options Waiver, But it would take time. Time that Esther, like many others, could not afford. The Image Center quickly helped her fill out and submit applications and connected her with a supports planner to get the ball rolling on a journey that would feel endless and too long for so many reasons. By July, the home was ready. The family was ready and willing to provide aid until assistance arrived. Yet, granddaughter Esther was told that she could not yet bring Gramps home. Despite a constant plea, questioning, and advocating, Gramps could not leave the nursing home to go home with her granddaughter until the processing was completed and approved for the Medicaid home and community-based services. Granddaughter Esther was told that her Gramps would lose her nursing home residency status, affecting her eligibility for in-home supports, thereby ending the application process. Dependent on the arrival of eventual financial and human support the Medicaid insurance program offered, Esther's granddaughter made the difficult decision to try to wait. After all, she had provided all information requested of her for the process to be completed. As days passed, Gramps continued to decline, becoming weaker and more confused while enduring extended isolation. She often pleaded, "Where is my family? Why are they not coming to see me?" Finally, after 122 days of writing letters, advocating, and filling out paperwork, good news arrived. Esther's granddaughter was notified by letter that Gramps could come home on August 25th, 2020. At the end of yet another month, Esther and Esther's torment would be over. Esther would be able to go home to her family with services in place. 15 days before Gramps could go home, their biggest nightmare happened. On August 10th, Esther was diagnosed with COVID-19, and granddaughter Esther received a phone call notifying her of where her Gramps had been taken. She had been moved to the COVID-positive unit, in which she was even more isolated until she was finally taken to the hospital on August 17th. Granddaughter Esther sent the message out to Image Center and advocates supporting her. "They beat me down, my heart is done. They won, they gave Gramps COVID." Despite granddaughter Esther's anguish and total consternation, she did the only thing she knew how. She kept fighting. She intensified her request to bring her Gramps home directly from the hospital. After all, the approval was already in place. Yet, Esther remained in the hospital. Through a whole lot of prayers, the hospital's patient care, family love, and Grandma Esther's determination, she survived COVID-19. On August 25th, Gramps went home, and many celebrations ensued. For Esther and Esther, the celebrations and endurance will continue. What can we learn from this? Can we have better expectations and clearly explain things up front? Will we work together, collectively, and cohesively to improve these processes so when emergent cases arise, we are prepared and able to save lives? Can transparency and information sharing be improved so that families are not left in the dark? Can better team meetings allow for improved and expedited decision-making? Is there a way to create a caregiver handbook that explains the transitioning from nursing home to community? Can more peer groups be organized and heard to help work out processes and delays while supporting each other? Everyone involved in this story, from the family to Image Center and staff, appreciates the incredible work of nursing homes, social workers, state workers, and all those caring for seniors. We need them. We appreciate them. Without them, the hope of support would not be possible.
This is Esther, one of the Esthers. And although my grandmother is home, people don't understand the systemic barriers that one encounters when attempting to leave or to help a loved one leave a nursing facility. I mean, this was months of delay that ultimately caused my grandmother to contract COVID and literally almost ended her life. It seems as if no administrator gave me all of the information, directed me to the appropriate forms, or provided clear communication. But without the support and guidance from the Out and About program, I honestly could not have made it. We would still be looking for answers. Why did it take so long? Why were there so many county officials that was unable to provide accurate information. At this point, we are still dealing with the health ramifications of my grandmother's prolonged stay and the residual feelings of abandonment, multiplied by the fact that she has dementia. Added to that, we're living with the long-lasting effects of the damage that's done to her lungs from contracting COVID. We are thankful for the program. We are thankful for the agencies, but we all have to communicate so that lives can be saved.
No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky where we look upon should what? Should tumble and fall, or the mountains should crumble to the sea. Now I won't cry. I won't cry. No, I won't shed a tear. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me.